Welcome to a special bonus episode of Above Deck. I'm Sarah Goldman, a photographer and former marine biologist living in Charleston, South Carolina. Together, Kelli and I hosted the Socks with Sandals radio show on WFAL in Bowling Green, Ohio. We are back together to discuss Below Deck and our love of all things Bravo.
I'm Kelly Busby, an executive assistant and former radio host living in Columbus. Each week, Sarah and I recap an episode of Below Deck, share a few laughs with the captain and crew, and discuss what's new in the Below Deck universe.
We had a real pinch me moment this week, didn't we, Kelly?
So much. Such a pinch me moment.
Yes. We talked to a true seaman, a king of witty sayings.
Yes.
Wise man who once said, "Don't let your mouth write a check that your ass can't cash." And the more bread you have, the less shit you have to eat. A captain who would never embarrass himself or the boat. We had the true pleasure to talk to the stud of the sea himself, Captain Lee Rosbach.
Let's get this dog and pony show on the road. Please enjoy our interview with Captain Lee.
Let's see.
We hear you, Captain Lee.
It's a good thing you couldn't hear me 30 seconds ago.
Oh, did we just miss a goddamn it?
Probably missed more than that.
Darn it. I was just going to tell you, though, that your new website and merchandise look really cool.
Well, thank you.
It looks really good.
We worked really hard on it, and it's kind of different. We did a silhouette with the glasses and a couple of things. My wife came up with a good idea the other day. She said, why don't we just do a t-shirt with all of your, not all of your, but the top 15 Captain Lee sayings.
Yes. Oh, that's a great idea. That'll be
that probably not, a lot of it probably wouldn't be good for public consumption. Probably wouldn't want to wear it to church.
Yeah, you could put asterisks and things, People are pretty casual with church these days, I think.
Kind of loses something in the translation. I don't know.
Yeah. It'd be perfect for BravoCon, though. So
probably be in my best interest to let my assistant handle that.
Yeah.
Keep me and my volatility where it is in my office.
That's a good idea. You're too important to be messing with that stuff. Definitely.
I wish you flatter me, child. That's okay. I enjoy being better.
This is a real pinch me moment to be interviewing you. We're very excited. So thank you so much for taking the time.
I'm excited to finally be above deck instead of below deck.
I
bet. That's a new feeling for me.
Definitely. Well,
does that mean I get treated like the primary?
Yeah. Can we get you anything?
I came prepared.
Oh, I was wondering, it is 6:30 after all. So
where are you guys located?
I'm in Charleston, South Carolina.
I love that place.
I'm in Columbus, Ohio.
Well,
you're from Michigan originally.
Love it as much as Charleston?
Well, being from Michigan and a U of M fan.
Yep.
Yeah, I was wondering if that might come up. We are
Ohio
people
are good, solid, hardworking, honest people.
Yeah,
really, I just
solid Midwesterners.
Don't
Same
like their
Michigan, Indiana.
Yes, that's indicative of that whole area, that whole belt, all the way through.
Yeah, definitely.
I would get preferential treatment when I would get resumes for somebody that was from any of those states up there.
Oh, awesome.
Because I know their parents did right by them and they taught them the right things. And
that's right.
And they might have grown up detasseling corn in the summer, so they know hard work.
Yeah. Oh, they might have. I can remember getting paid $3 an acre to weed out the bean fields.
Oh my gosh. That would be
$3 an acre.
Backbreaking.
Did I have
$3 an acre?
But did I have a killer tan?
I bet you did.
Well, Captain Lee, we're going to be seeing you next week at Nightcap and Evening with Captain Lee.
I promise it will not be boring.
Oh, we are not worried. So you've done some of these one-man shows before, right?
Just one.
Okay. Well, tell us.
Once, and I thought I was going to go, all right, I'm just doing it once. That's it. And then when Bravo came along, And I have a friend that owns a resort and a casino out there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And you may recognize his name, David Siegel.
Okay.
Because he was a charter guest.
Yes. Oh my
And he
gosh.
also had a daughter that died from drugs. Victoria.
Okay.
And I said, Dave, I said, I want to take my show to Vegas. I said, and I want to do it the day before BravoCon launches.
Well, we are super glad because we didn't make it to your other show, and we will obviously be at BravoCon. So we're very excited about the timing. I logged in the second it was available. We had to get those seats.
You guys are good.
Just so you know, we're about 6 rows back right there in the orchestra. So if you need a little touchstone during the show,
we're right there for you.
We'll be there.
Kelly, I may need it. You never know. I got sick twice before my first one-man show.
Really?
Oh, gosh.
It would be nerve-wracking.
Yeah, when you sit there and you go like, God, I hope I don't go out there and lay the biggest egg ever.
Not possible.
So, Captain Lee, will the audience get to ask questions?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
In fact, I think we've got 4 games that we're going to play that are going to be audience participation.
Fun.
And it's going to be different situations that are, every one of them is going to be uncomfortable for me because it's going to require me to 1, be sober, 2, think on my feet or on my ass, whichever, and hope I come up with the right answers.
Awesome.
Oh my gosh, I'm very excited.
Awesome.
Kelly, we're going to have to think of our questions ahead of time.
Yes.
Of course, we're going to ask you like 20 questions.
You're going to plot
right now.
I can see the wheels turning already.
Oh, yeah.
So have you always had funny sayings for all of life situations? Like, were you a little kid saying things like, I'm madder than a pissed on chicken?
I don't recall that specifically, but I do remember one incident when my mom took me out to buy me a pair of shoes. I was talking to the guy at the who was behind the counter where you paid for your shoes, I guess. And I noticed he was like not being very nice. And I asked him why, and he told me it was because I was an obnoxious little shit. So I guess that was my first inkling that I may have said something out of line at that point.
Okay. All right. So it's been going on a long time.
Yeah, I just said thank you and moved on.
Got it.
We have been loving watching you on Couch Talk with Captain Lee and Kate. What Bravo show have you enjoyed watching the most?
Wow. I have been, because lately I've been force-fed a lot of Bravo.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean that when your producer comes up and says, here's your lineup for next week, and you've got 17 shows you have to watch.
Oh my gosh.
Even without the commercials.
Yeah.
It's still a lot to digest. And it's not like I'm Kate, or it's not like I'm my publicist who just photographic memory. She hears it, she stores it, she's got it, and she can tell you everything about every housewife going back years.
Kind of like Kate.
I do not possess that skill, just like Kate.
Yeah.
And then I'm sitting there like the buffoon in the room. And I'm trying to keep up.
I thought you've done really well.
I did my homework, and I've been paying attention. But like I said, I don't do stupid. And some of those girls are just really stupid.
It's really fun to watch you watch them. So and Kate does such a good job of just simplifying everything and telling you in a sentence or two, like, okay, this is what was happening, and this what happened last season, and okay, this is the scene we're gonna watch. And it's
you remember the one where she was describing somebody's marriage and somebody's kids, and it looked like their family tree just branched out everywhere.
Yes.
And I walked away from that conversation, I was talking to myself. I felt
Kate,
like I thought I was really reincarnating Laurel and Hardy, who's on first.
who's on first? What's on second?
I did.
Oh my gosh,
Ooh.
that's so funny.
No, he's on first. What?
I don't know. Who's on
that's not on first.
third.
Who's on first?
So Kate was really determined to make you a Salt Lake City fan. Did it work?
I think so.
All right.
Those ladies are wild.
Because they have a couple of things that are really intriguing about that.
Yeah.
Like Mary Cosby.
Yes.
Why is she always skulking around?
I know.
Good
Just her
question.
facial expressions.
She's like sitting in the room while they're having the snowball fight, and she's just watching them. What are they doing? Well, I don't know.
I know.
They
I
look
wish
like
she'd
they're
be more
doing.
involved.
Looks like they're throwing snowballs at each other.
Yeah, she's
but she's never there for any group activities at all.
No,
She just sits
she
back
was
and
better
criticizes.
in her first season. She was much more involved. Although honestly, she was just in her house with her things. And
Did she get burned on season 1?
Did she what?
I don't know.
Did she get burned on season 1 or something to make her like?
I don't know. Oh, you know what? She did get
Sunshine?
along with Jen Shaw. Those two really butted heads. And then, Jen Shaw went to prison, and then Mary Cosby came back.
That fucking took care of that shit, didn't it?
No kidding.
It did. And then when Mary was on Watch
I don't like her, put her in jail.
That's right.
Exactly. When Mary was on Watch What Happens Live a week or two ago, Andy asked her, like, why did you come back? Because you don't really seem like you're enjoying yourself. And she said, to help you guys out.
Obviously.
Like, she's just doing Bravo a favor.
I didn't realize I was in the presence of such, what's the word I'm looking for?
Well, she does.
Let me tell you this. I think she has an over-exaggerated sense of self-value.
Yeah.
Just a wee bit.
That's putting it delicately.
I really don't give two shits if she's on there or not.
Right.
Amen.
Because
I can look at anybody standing on the sidelines. I mean, you see it at every football game you go to.
Right. So, Captain Lee, I just finished your book, which was really great.
Did you like it?
I loved it. Yeah,
I thought it was an easy read, but maybe gave some insight into kind of who I am.
It did. And just the jobs that you had before you got into yachting.
Did you notice a pattern there?
A pattern as far as I guess risk-taking jobs, difficult jobs.
Every job that I took, to me, was a challenge.
Yeah.
To force myself out of my comfort zone and do something that somebody else couldn't want to do or was afraid to do.
Yeah.
And that's, when they say volunteer in the service and everybody else takes 3 steps back and you're the one left, that's me.
Yeah.
Stand me up, I'll do it.
I was scared just listening to you describe the welding on the water towers, like so high up in the air, and
you would be out there on a ladder that was probably about as wide as my desk, which is about 4 feet. And you'd climb over the side and go down the ladder to the very bottom because you welded from the bottom up. And you're looking down at clouds and birds.
It's just so scary.
That's where you spend your time until they blew the lunch whistle. And the only reason they knew you knew it was time to go to lunch was because they'd shut all the power off and your welding would stop. Your welding machine would stop. So you'd climb back inside the tower, but you didn't want to climb down 500-600 feet to eat. So when you climbed up first thing in the morning, you took all your food and everything with you. And then you'd sit down, you'd have your lunch up there.
God.
God forbid you should have to go to the bathroom. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh my gosh.
And you're like, it's a half-hour, 45-minute project.
Yeah.
And your boss is pissed because you're not burning rods.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Can't help it. Got to go.
Yeah. One thing I was surprised about is that you suffered from seasickness early on in your career. I also suffer from seasickness, but it just kind of went away for you, right? After some time.
I kind of took it head on. It's just like, because that's how bad I wanted to be a captain.
Yeah.
That's how bad I wanted to. I finally figured out what I want to be a little late in life. 35 is a little old to be making career choices. Most people are like well established in their career at that time. But not me.
Yeah.
And then when I found out I got seasick, it just really pissed me off. And so I was just at the point where, fuck it, I'm not quitting.
Wow. It's impressive.
Everybody else can deal with it, which they did by not wanting to do watches with me, which they wouldn't. I didn't blame them.
Yeah. I worked on scientific research vessels for 12 years.
Wow.
And I
know what it's like out there.
I do. And I worked offshore. So can't see land, 40 to 100 miles offshore. Generally not terribly rough seas, but I was always seasick. So I was on Dramamine all the time. Really? And so I did leave in my 30s to pursue a different career. So I desperately wanted to be there.
How long did you stay out there? Until
7 to 14 days, usually. It's plenty of time for me. Yeah.
That's a long time when you're sick.
It is. Yeah.
Not everybody can overcome it.
Yeah. I think you said that in your book. Some people, it's like, you just never get over it. So we're glad that you did.
We used to have a guy where I docked my boat that if he'd step out on the dock, he'd get seasick.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. My mom is like that.
Well, Randy, it ain't moving. You're not even on a boat.
It doesn't matter. So we have a few listener questions.
All right.
Dave asks, which Below Deck crew was the most challenging group for you?
I think season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, and a lot of people may say like season 8 because we had Ashton and all the rest of that crap. I think it was 8, or was it not? It was 8.
Mm-hmm.
And they weren't the most challenging. Season 1 was because none of us knew what we were doing. We were all flying by the seat of our pants. I'd never been on a goddamn television show.
Right.
And people often ask, what about the cameras? And I made a deal with the cameraman from Jump Street, just like, you guys have a job to do. I've got a job to do.
Yep.
I'm not changing the way I run my boat. I don't expect you to change the way you do things, but let's not be bumping into each other and, that kind of thing. So stay out of my way. Let me do my job. I'll do my best to stay out of your way and let you do your job. And if you get something that you want me to do and we can do it safely, I'll do it. I'll jump through all the hoops for you.
Yeah.
If it's not safe, I'm just going to be straight up, tell you that's not something we're going to do. And don't argue with me about it, because it's not going to be pretty.
Yeah.
Holly wants to know, what's on your bucket list?
Oh God.
You've done it all.
I hope I live long enough to fulfill it all. There's a lot of things. I love to travel. And there's a lot of places, a lot of ports and stuff that I've yet to see. I don't, other than traveling and see some different, there's a couple of boats I'd like to get my hands on that are new and cutting edge, just toys to play with.
Yeah.
I went down to visit a friend of mine, and that crossed this off my bucket list, was go treasure hunting under the water.
What kind of treasure?
Sunken treasure from ships that sank in the 16th century.
Oh my gosh, that's cool.
And my buddy Carl Allen owns a place called Walker's Key in the Bahamas. And he acquired the rights to 350,000 acres of ocean bottom.
Wow.
To search. And they have found just incredible things. Just the other day, they pulled up like a 10-foot cannon.
Wow.
And it was just, he's obviously very wealthy. He bought his own island.
Right.
But, and he's got
unreal
a fleet of boats. He's got his own submarine that they use for exploration.
Wow.
And I got that off my bucket list, and we did like 7 dives in a day. And they had these huge blowers that lower down into the water that are like 4 or 5 feet in diameter and disperse massive amounts of air. And they blow the sand away that's accumulated over
cool.
a couple thousand years.
Oh, wow.
You know, we're going back to the 16th century. And so some of that stuff that they've dug up, he dug up a 7-foot solid gold chain.
Oh my, what? 7 feet?
And now he's walking around wearing it every day.
He opened and donated to the Bahamas.
Oh, yeah, that's
Maritime
awesome.
Museum.
Very cool.
In Port Lacaya, which is kind of neat. And so to go down there and hang out with him and go diving looking for buried treasure was just like,
wow. I feel like
I didn't find anything. Some
pirate
people
and
we were with, some people that we were with found some neat stuff. They're finding emeralds all the time.
What?
Some of the stuff they find is so incredible, and you sit there and you think, where did this level of craftsmanship come from in the 16th century?
I know. Like how did they do it?
We think we're good with all the technology we have. These people didn't have that. That was all stuff that was handmade and handcrafted.
Right. Really incredible.
So that was one of my bucket list items.
That's cool. Here in
if
Charleston,
I ever could afford to fly into space,
you would do that?
Sign me up.
Of course you would.
In a heartbeat.
No, thank you. That's so cool. Here in Charleston, people.
If Elon Musk came up and said, Cap, you want to go for a ride? I go, hell yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh. In Charleston, we do river dives. So it's like black water diving, and you look for like megalodon teeth and fossils. That's kind of our treasure diving here.
Those are tough. You got a lot of current.
Yeah. I think you kind of have to time it with slack tide, and you just feel around, hope there aren't gators.
Nope, I'm out.
You can hear your buddy, you can hear their bubbles, but you can't see them.
Nope.
Wow.
Nope.
That may not need to go on your bucket list, though.
No, river diving
in South Carolina. Okay.
Yeah, I can think of, I've been down the East River in New York, and the stuff that's buried there, I don't even want to know about.
You don't want to know. No. What are you most excited about at BravoCon?
Surviving.
It's a packed schedule for you guys.
It is. And it's one thing, it's not as scattered out as it has been in the past. So that's kind of cool. And I think Vegas is the right spot for it.
Yeah.
I don't know who didn't check the calendar that they scheduled it the week before the F1.
I know.
Like somebody screwed the pooch on that deal.
Yeah, for sure.
Without a doubt.
Yes. Is there anyone that you're looking forward to meeting at BravoCon?
Well, I'm always happy to see like my Pat Altschul. I love seeing her.
Yeah. She's in my town. She's just a couple miles down the road from me.
Yeah, we've developed a friendship over the years, and it's funny. She says she's got her idiots to deal with, and I have mine.
That's true, actually.
Yeah. When you look at the boys, like you
they're
think
a mess.
They're gonna grow up.
Yeah, they're a real mess.
Never.
Do you enjoy the panels at BravoCon and like the photo ops, or is it just a lot to take your picture?
Thing that I enjoy most are the photo ops, and they always piss me off because they always want to cut it short. They always want to hurry somebody out of there.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. You're forgetting these people paid really good money to be here. And you're telling me I can't sit there and say, hi, how you doing? How long you guys been married or something like that?
Right.
Yeah.
And be a little sociable. Because I know the meet and greets at my shows, I allocate 3-4 minutes for each person.
That's so nice.
Like the last one, we had 130 people.
Wow.
So it took a while, but nobody left because they knew they were going to get some personal attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think that's so cold and so rude when they just go, your picture's over, get out.
Yeah. I guess some people just care about the picture, but it is nice to be able to connect with someone that you
love
watching.
Want to have a conversation, I'm fine with that. But if they do, I'm happy to answer their questions for a few minutes.
I love that.
They spend a lot of effort to get where they're at and to be there. So I think they should be given a little more consideration.
Yeah, I hear you. We have some rapid fire questions for you. Some of these are just like yes, no.
Okay.
Besides Dolores, have you had other charter guests jump off the boat at night?
No.
Favorite show of the Below Deck franchise other than OG?
Probably Down Under.
Okay. That's really good.
Because I've wanted to do Australia. I'd been pitching that idea to Bravo for years.
Wow.
I said, we're missing out if we don't do the Barrier Reef and more exotic locations.
I love the scenery. It's
incredible. We'd been all over the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Right.
And so when we got to do Tahiti and Thailand,
that was cool.
And you get to delve into different cultures and stuff.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
And the B-roll was fantastic.
Yes. Yeah, it was incredible. That was really beautiful. I could watch that season again. Would you rather move back to Turks and Caicos or Gary, Indiana?
Is that a real question?
Yeah. I guess Turks and Caicos.
I guess so. Yeah.
Do you know that song, Gary, Indiana, from the Music Man?
No, I don't.
I'll sing a line of it for you. It goes, Gary, Indiana, not Louisiana, Paris, France, New York, or Rome. No, not ringing a bell?
No.
Okay. Well, okay. Well, that's the only reason.
There isn't too much about Gary, Indiana I'd like to remember.
Okay. All right.
I'm sure one time and it's however long it's been there, it might have been a good place to be from.
Yeah, sounds right. Which below deck captain are you closest to?
Probably Jason Chambers.
Okay. He's such a good guy.
He's been to the house. We've had him over for dinner and we've had good conversations.
Nice.
And he's a pretty stand-up guy.
Yeah, I think so.
Enjoyed his company.
What TV show do you and Marianne watch together?
Together? Like
together,
in the same room?
if any. It's hard to.
Gosh.
Or do you watch everything separate? It's hard for me and my husband to find something we both like.
We don't watch separate, but like we'll watch some documentaries and stuff together.
Yeah.
That you want to watch, but there's not. I don't know what happened to TV and why there's just not much really good content. We used to love to watch MASH.
Yeah.
And All in the Family.
Oh yeah, classics.
Yeah, and
you could probably watch reruns.
Back when people had a sense of humor and weren't so goddamn sensitive about everything.
Right.
You know, I mean, I sat behind Norman Lear at the Emmys.
Oh wow!
Cool. And I didn't want to be that guy, and I wasn't. But I sat behind him and Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh, cool!
And I just, the guy's an icon. He's a genius.
Yeah.
And I loved it when they did the remake of All in the Family.
Yes.
The only thing they changed were the people. They kept the same script, which I thought was a ballsy move.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Because to try and sell that script now,
yeah,
not going to happen.
Right.
You're not going to show the Jeffersons now. People are too politically correct for that stuff. I think we've forgotten to laugh at ourselves. Like Richard Pryor would be unemployable.
Right. Yeah.
He wouldn't be able to get a job as a comedian.
Who is the last below deck crew member that you texted?
That I texted? Carrie. Or no, texted. Connie.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Connie today, because she was going to come down for the boat show and we were going to go out and have a cocktail together, her and I and Scott and Marianne.
Oh, that's nice.
I
like her.
She didn't make it down, but she's making plans to maybe come down tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
For a little bit.
Excellent.
How often do you get
Connie
recognized?
was a stud.
She was a star.
She was on the show. She was such a practical joker.
Yeah.
She brought her sewing machine with her.
What? I don't.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't show this stuff.
That's so
brought her
weird.
sewing machine with her. Well, what she did is she'd sit there and she'd watch the guys when they were like getting dressed. I mean, not for perversion or anything like that, but she'd watch which leg they would put into their shorts first. And then when they weren't looking, she'd go into their cabins and she'd, snag a couple of pairs of their uniform shorts. And whichever leg they put in first, she'd sew the other one shut. So when they go to put their foot in, they'd fall on their ass. And she laughed at them. And then right when they thought they were safe, after they got that situation handled, they go put on their deck shoes and find out that they were filled with shaving cream.
She had a thing for shaving cream for sure.
She was funny, but she was one of the hardest working people we've ever had on Below Deck.
Oh, that's good. She was early on. What season was that?
I think two.
Okay.
When we were in the Bahamas.
Gotcha.
We were freezing our asses off because that's Florida weather in the wintertime.
Right.
So it was like mid-50s. The water's cold as hell.
Yeah.
And I remember her going over the side. We were looking for lobster for dinner for the guests. And I think it was when Cynthia Bailey and Claudia Jordan were on board.
Oh, yeah.
And she had this big buck lobster pinned up under a coral head, but he was hanging on tight and she couldn't break him loose. And she'd come up and her lips were blue and her teeth were chattering.
Wow.
And I go, Connie, I said, no. I said, get your ass in the boat. And she goes, no. She says, I almost got him, Cap. I'll get him this time. And back down she went before I could snatch onto her and pull her up.
Oh my gosh.
She came up and she threw the lobster on the deck and said, done.
She was determined.
Oh, yeah. That's why I say Connie was a stud. She was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was great.
Do you get often recognized being from Below Deck?
Yes, a lot.
Like, can you even go to the grocery store without getting stopped? No.
I can't go to the drugstore. I can't go anywhere.
Yeah. Wow.
And your anonymity is gone forever.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be out washing my car. Yeah, I still wash my own cars.
Yeah.
Nice.
And somebody will be driving down the street, slam on the brakes, back up and pull in the driveway.
Oh gosh.
Okay. We're getting a little over the line here.
Yeah. That's a little bit.
If I'm out in public, I'm fair game.
Right.
No problem. Come on up. We'll get a picture. We'll chat for a few minutes. I don't have an issue with that.
Yeah. Do you ever wear
in my house? I've had people follow me home.
Okay, that's icky.
That's very icky.
Do you ever wear disguise?
It doesn't help. I thought it'd be cute for me to. I had a license plate for years. It says Captain Lee on the back.
Yeah.
And it was never an issue until the show.
Yeah, I remember Captain Jason seeing your car parked and he took a little video.
Yeah, and wrote on my windshield because it was dirty. We were having construction done on the house.
Yeah.
And he wrote goat on the windshield.
Yeah, that was cute.
Yeah, it was. It was funny. He was out getting his he was up doing some exercising and stuff, and at a time of day when I used to be just getting in.
Yeah, he's motivated. Okay, last question. Would you rather be a one-legged man at an ass-kicking contest or eat someone's ass for dinner?
Oh, eat somebody's ass for dinner.
Okay.
Way more enjoyable. Especially if they've definitely got it coming.
Yeah, that's
I don't think I've ever fired somebody that didn't have it coming. And did I enjoy it? When they did, yes. I did not feel any sense of remorse whatsoever because I can never ever remember terminating somebody one guy There was one guy that I terminated that I really didn't want to, but I had to.
Yeah.
And that was Andrew Sturvey. Season 2.
I do not remember him.
He lied on his resume.
Oh, yeah.
Some people say embellished. To me, embellished is another word for lying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and everybody loved him. But like, we're underway and he left the porthole in his cabin open.
Oh, that's right. I remember this
and
guy.
We're underway and we're going to sink.
Yeah.
Because the crew quarters are underneath the water line. Water is just pouring in.
An idiot.
Oh my gosh. Oy.
Yeah, that's bad.
Said, Andrew,
so,
I said, exactly how much time have you spent on a boat? That's when he fessed up. And he was such a good kid. That's the only one I regret.
Well, that was a good lesson for him, though. So,
yeah, lying, it will catch you.
Yeah, don't lie. So before we kind of wrap up, would you be willing to do a liner for us for the podcast where you kind of say, this is Captain Lee, you're listening to the Above Deck podcast, that kind of thing?
Sure.
If you want to throw in, one of your clever lines, you could do that if, whatever feels right.
Well, this is Captain Lee from Below Deck doing the Above Deck podcast. And I have to tell you that I've been waiting for this invitation to come. And I would seriously be madder than a pissed-on chicken if it didn't show up soon.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Well, everybody go see Captain Lee at the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino on November 2nd at 7:30. Yes. There are still some tickets available via Ticketmaster. There's also a link on your website, I believe.
You can get the link on my website.
CaptainLee.com.
And I also have a new podcast out.
Oh, yeah. Tell us about your podcast.
It's called, appropriately, I think, Salty.
Yeah. I love it. How has podcasting been for you?
It's been difficult to get used to.
Yeah.
Because I'm just used to going about my job on the boat and I'm being filmed, and it doesn't mean anything to me. But now all I've got is this microphone in front of me, and you realize that there's a lot of people listening to what you say.
Right.
And you really don't want to screw up.
Yeah, we get that.
It's easy. We always think, oh, we're just talking to each other. And then you see the numbers and you're like, oh, there's a lot of people listening in a lot of countries.
They're paying attention to what you have to say.
Yeah.
And that is one of the things that I guess you guys are used to. You just put it out of your head and you just go about your business.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't really think about it too much anymore.
Right. I don't know. If we thought about some of the things we do, we probably wouldn't do much.
Amen.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I'm getting used to that, and I'm getting more comfortable with it.
Yeah. Well, I feel like you're a natural storyteller, so it seems like a good fit for you.
I am just an old truth teller.
There you go. An old salty truth teller.
Yeah. And so I thought the name of the podcast was appropriately named.
Yeah. No, it's really good. So do you have more couch talk coming up, or is that kind of done for the season?
It's done for this year, I believe. Okay. But I think there will be more of that to come.
Oh, good. I think it was a hit.
That's the hints that have been dropped. I had a lot of fun working with Kate again. I was just I was so bummed when she didn't get invited back. And I was just like, you guys are really making a mistake. And
absolutely.
Outside of Frasier, we never had anybody that lasted more than one season.
Yeah.
After Kate left.
Yeah.
And I said, doesn't that tell you screwed up?
Right. Yeah. She was made for that role. She's really good.
The first time she came, first time I met her, and the producers had us all sitting at a restaurant overlooking the docks. And I've got the producer in my ear, Mark Cronin, great guy. And he goes, okay, your new stew, your new chief stew is coming walking down the dock. He said, grab her before she gets to the boat and bring her up to join and meet everybody, because I had all the crew there. I said, you got it, boss. And then about 45 seconds later, he goes, Cap, he says, what are you doing? I said, I didn't see anybody that even resembled a chief stew walking down the dock. And he said, she's got her back to you right now. And I looked, and here is this beautiful blonde. Well, I couldn't tell from behind, but from what I saw there, she looked pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And she's perfectly coiffed.
Yeah.
And I said, that's my chief stew? And he goes, yes. And I hollered out to her, and she turned around, and she looked like a charter guest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how well she was dressed. And she had this little stroller bag behind her. And I thought she was getting on another boat.
That's so good.
No, he says, that's your chief stew. I said, Jesus Christ. I said, I don't believe it. I said, you could have told me.
Right.
I just let her blow right on by.
She did look like a charter guest.
She looked great.
Yeah.
And I thought,
she still does.
I've never had a chief stew that looked like that. They usually come walking down. They've got, a what do they call those shirts? Like a golf shirt?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a polo shirt.
Yeah, a polo and a skirt.
Right.
Tech shoes. Not Kate. Had her hair done up, had a nice scarf on, pencil skirt. Looked nothing like a chief stew.
I feel like she kind of started something, because now the crew members really kind of make an arrival, especially the women on below deck, like walking down the dock. And I'm like, I would not look that good after however long I traveled.
Right.
I'm glad to see that somebody's paying attention and they take a page out of Kate's handbook, because having her on board was after we got to know each other a little bit, which was we had a rocky start. And then there wasn't any task I could give her that I had to worry about or be concerned about. She would deal with it and get it done, and it was perfect.
Yeah.
And so that was such a huge load off of my plate that I didn't have to be concerned with it.
Yeah, she really was the total package, as far as hard worker, great reality TV star, good, like a good narrator too.
I would laugh my ass off so much, because she would insult somebody and they'd never know what happened. And, and you're sitting there, you're going like, oh. And I would just laugh my ass off.
Just did it with a smile.
And she'd just carry on like nothing happened.
I love that.
Crazy wit, extremely quick, and razor sharp tongue.
Yes.
I always said, if you're going to get into a pissing contest with Kate, bring your A game.
Yeah.
Or just don't.
Yes, that's better advice. Don't, because I don't think your A game is going to quite cut it.
Yeah. Yeah, she's something else. Well, this has been so fun. We don't want to take up too much of your time.
No, it's not a problem, Sarah.
We'll see you. Let's see, today's Friday. We'll see you next Thursday.
Yeah.
Next Thursday night in Vegas. And then I'm sure we'll see you at BravoCon too.
I will be there. And I'll be pissed if you don't come up and say hi.
We will definitely do that.
All right.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
Been an honor and a pleasure.
That's it for this episode of Above Deck. Thank you to everyone at Hurrdat Media and Captain Lee's team for setting this interview up for us. Please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget to tell a friend, and rate and review us 5 stars only.
Please follow us on Instagram at abovedeckpod. You can always email us and leave us a voice memo at abovedeckpod@gmail.com. And you can watch our episodes on the Hurrdat Media YouTube channel. Until next time, I'm Kelli Busby.
And I'm Sarah Goldman. Thanks for joining us.